Our historical save continues into Out of the Park Baseball 23. It's here. We're in June of 1997, approaching the midpoint of our repeat title bid, and interleague play has just arrived in Major League Baseball for the first time. The first editions of key rivalries will be played today. But first, I made a big trade in May. We moved number 2 starter Pete Harnisch to Philadelphia for a pair of unhappy players and a prospect. Philly's got a number of bad apples in their clubhouse, and it's clearly having an effect. So they've inserted Pete Harnisch at the top of their rotation. He's faring a little bit better over there so far. But let's take a moment to recognize his Astros career. Accumulated 97 wins, 28 wins above replacement, finished second in the Cy Young Award voting in the NL 1992, made the All-Star team in 1994, won a couple Pitcher of the Month awards, and most importantly, he helped us win our World Series title last season. The last couple of seasons haven't been the smoothest, but it's still sad to see you go. Round of applause, Pete Harnisch. Harnisch's departure leaves Greg Jeffries, Shane Reynolds, and Edgardo Vasquez as the only 3 players left on my big league roster from when I took this job before the 1994 season. Moving on to what we got in return, Armando Almaza was really the throw-in of the deal. He's currently injured, doesn't have a clear path to the big leagues. Paul Wenson shores up our bullpen in a setup role. He was having a miserable season in Philly, but has looked good for us. Picked up 3 holds already. The prize of the deal is Brian Holman, and I know him well. I picked him up as the Rangers GM back in 1988 and patiently developed him into a key starter. He played a key role in our 1991 World Series title team. And now he and I are reunited in Houston. He was off to a great start this season for Philly, and that's continued with us. He only allowed 1 run in his first start, earned the win, and sat second in the National League ERA race. But he left that game early with pain in his elbow, and my worst fears were realized. Brian Holman's season is over after 5 1/3 innings. Our starting pitching was ordinary before, now it's a full-blown weakness. It's been a bumpy road ever since. We're 7-11 since that injury. Fortunately, the rest of our division has struggled as well, but as of June 16th, NL Central's wide open. Phillies have gone 16-7 since acquiring Harnisch, quickly picking up ground on the NL East leading Expos. The Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Indians have a pretty good handle on their divisions at this point. The Anaheim Angels were in control, but lost serious ground to the Seattle Mariners in recent days. And by the way, I love this new Out of the Park 23 feature. You get to pick your own categories now as your league leaders. The Indians have taken the American League by storm, going 48-21 so far. Jeff Kent is the man leading the charge. Top of the Indians lineup's getting on base a lot, and Kent is driving them in at a record-breaking pace. He's on track for 190 RBI this season. An improved pitching staff, especially Osvaldo Fernandez, has been another driving force behind the Indians' success. He's put up a 1.40 ERA+, leads Major League Baseball with 11 wins. Pedro still being Pedro. Leads Major League Baseball with over 5 WAR, 144 strikeouts. That puts him on pace for 324. Mark Grudzielanek still hitting over 400, 408 to be exact. He doesn't seem to be slowing down too much with a 5-game multi-hit streak going. And our very own Barry Bonds deserves some serious praise here. He's having a great season, even by his own lofty standards, leading the National League in home runs, total bases, slugging percentage, OPS, and wins above replacement. That 201 weighted runs created plus is his best mark since 1991. And he's a fan favorite. Who doesn't love Barry Bonds? Todd Zeile hit for the first ever interleague cycle against the A's. Tom Messier earned his 150th career win against the Florida Marlins. Checking out the injury situation, Jim Thome joins Expos teammate Gary Sheffield on the DL. They're both out for more than a month still, leaving the door open for the Phillies. And Jose Offerman of the Pirates has just been ruled out for the season. That's good news for us. So here's the Astros. Out of the Park 23 rescouted everyone. We're still leading the league in most offensive categories, with runs scored obviously being the most important of those. But our starter ERA slipped all the way down to 13th in the NL. Overall FIP is second, so defense is a lot to blame here. Shane Reynolds has been the one most impacted by our defense. He's walking less than a batter per 9, he's keeping the ball in the ballpark, We're just not catching the ones they put in play. His ERA's ballooned to over 5. And Edgardo Vasquez continues to get hammered, and the league figured out Mike Soroka pretty quick as well. Good news is our scout upgraded Jason Beret. I did need to demote Doug Malicki and address a bullpen emergency, but he'll be back shortly and his ratings look pretty good. But all that said, we could really use an upgrade here, and there's nothing available for trade at the moment. Bullpen continues to be a strength and just got stronger, I think. We've called up Ricardo Rincon and inserted him right into a setup role. Ron Way makes way to open up that roster spot. We've also called up Scott Eyre, but it's just for a day. He'll go down tomorrow for another starting pitcher. No complaints about the bats, though. As discussed, Barry Bonds is on track for his 7th MVP award. Chris Hoiles has rebounded nicely from his ugly start. Chad Townsend is supplying nice power at first base, despite my scout downgrading him during the Ootp 23 conversion. That bears watching. Greg Jeffries is putting up another great season at third base, and Alex Rodriguez continues to show well, though he's fallen to third in the National League in home runs. Andrew Jones is playing great defense in center field while still holding his own with the bat. Jerome Walton and Bobby Higginson are making a nice platoon combo in right field. And then Chad Rupp, our 5th outfielder, has been downgraded by OTP 23. I don't really have a better alternative, so he'll just sit as the 25th man. We need to set our DH lineups as well. We're going to need them for our first ever road interleague matchup in Kansas City. It is hard to figure out how this team is only one game above 500. They have Pedro Martinez, Randy Johnson, and Kevin Brown at the top of their rotation. Fortunately, I don't have to face any of them in this 3-game series. They have a talented lineup as well, but it just has not performed well outside of Rusty Greer and Corey Powell. John Jaha is a probable Hall of Famer, but he can't get anything going. Pedro Munoz has been average. The rest of their lineup has been pretty boring. There's not much power at all happening here. And before we play the Royals, we're happily going to take advantage of the new alternate jerseys system. Gives you unlimited choices for number of uniform combinations, and you can even pick which days of the week you use each of them. So it's rivalry week. The Chicago Crosstown Classic, the New York Subway Series, and the Ohio Cup all get started. The LA Freeway Series starts tomorrow. Fun memory for me, I still remember attending the White Sox-Cubs game in real life on June 18th. It felt like everything was on the line in Chicago that day. But a bigger story has erupted out of Houston. Today's starting pitcher, Edgardo Vasquez, refuses to pose for a picture with his alternate jersey. Very interested to see what he'll decide to do for game time. We'll keep it rated PG, of course. This is a family show. Gotta love a beta. My first game inside OTP 23, and it still blocks you for the first hitter. Oh well. Animations look a little bit different. And we'll see if Edgardo Vasquez is going to wear any clothes. He is. Look at him go. Oh boy. So far, I don't like this new engine. 1-0 Kansas City. He's safe too. This is Edgardo Vasquez. Hey, we got a strikeout. It could be 2. Nope, just the 1. Just never know what's going to happen. Not used to these animations. I almost feel like it's a little slower, but that might be because of... Hey, home run for Chad Townsend. Take that, Scout. Think you can lower his power rating. Not much offense other than that. Base hit for Corey Powell. Him and Greer are dangerous as always. The rest of the lineup's been pretty easy to work around. They're in scoring position. And that falls in front of Andrew Jones. Powell holds at third.
Not nearly in time.
Man, this could be a big inning. 3-1 Royals with that base hit by Jaha. Yeah, we're just a mess whenever Vasquez is on the mound. We've been a mess this whole month anyway. Robin Ventura hits it into the gap too. Oh, we throw him out at home. Nice relay throw there. That's a new... They never have relays. It's always just they chuck it home from the outfield. That was pretty nice. Diving play over there by Bonds. I'd say the dives don't look that much better than 22 did. We are not playing good baseball at all right now. First walk. Vasquez has allowed 10 hits. And he's decided he doesn't want to let any more, so he's just going to walk everybody. Oh, strikeout helps for sure. Hopefully he can get Pedro Munoz. He can't. Hit number 11. Edgardo Vasquez officially is my enemy. That brings his ERA up to like something like 6.5. Can't tolerate this pitching much longer. Or this defense, or both. Be nice if we can get something going off a Ben Burlingame. Nothing special about him, really. He's making us look pretty bad. And Hoyles is swinging 3-0. So much for the improvements to the simulation engine. We got a lot of work to do. And they hit Bonds. Ooh, hit him in the hand. He's shaking up, but he's okay. Thankfully, that's the last thing we need. Alright, we got the tying run up to the plate in the name Bobby Higginson, and it's a double play. I want to go back to Ootp 22. Pedro Munoz is killing us. He's got 3 hits. Toby Borland's in. This team is a mess. I've been sick all week, haven't played a single game. The computer doesn't seem to notice that it hasn't reset anything at all. It's just keeping up right where we left off. That was a short outing for Borland. This is getting ugly. This is getting really ugly. Winston just walks 2 in. Oh, great. Alright, and we got out of the inning because they keep trying to take extra bases. There goes A-Rod. He's got home run number 20. We are really bad. Alright, there's Bonds with his second hit. Don't call it a comeback. Hey, we scored another run. So proud of us. Wow. And yes, as I've heard, you do the lineup when the team wins now. That was an embarrassment of a baseball game. We got utterly destroyed in every phase. Every Royal hit safely. Pedro Munoz did the most damage with those 4 hits, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBI. Barry Bonds was the only Astro to reach base twice. We did get solo shots from Chad Townsend and Alex Rodriguez. And Edgardo Vasquez lays an egg. Again. So did the other Phillies acquisition, Paul Wenson. And Ben Burlingame for the Royals easily handled our lineup today. In other games, the White Sox and Mets won the first editions of their intercity rivalries. Reed Seacrest hits 2 out of the park for the Mets in that one. Tim Rumer struts out the Red Sox. The Phillies pick up another game on the NL East leading Expos. And Jason Schmidt strikes out 10, leading the Pirates to victory over the Twins. That win propels them to first place and drops us to second. Our losing streak is at 6, and we're paying the price. I think there's a lot of work to do between now and the trade deadline, which is when my next video will come out. If you don't want to wait that long, I started streaming live on Twitch again. I'm going to shoot for Saturday morning, so feel free to come in and hang out. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Looking forward to seeing you for the trade deadline.